Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Jada Flazanes, your empowerment strategist, producer, and winemaker. Thank you for downloading today's episode and or watching. I am doing this solo show on video, and I better get used to it because I'm going to be starting another podcast here in the next month or two, which is going to be on video 3 times a week. So I better get used to it. So forgive me for my first time. I'm stretching into a new way of showing up for you and a new way of communicating some of the ideas that I have. Today, we're going to talk about why you feel stuck even when you're doing the work. I want to talk about adaptation, and I want to talk about the growth path that a lot of people are on and why some people never get on the growth path. It's uncomfortable. And for most of us emotionally, we are not resilient. We aren't. We have not been taught, nor it has not been demonstrated for us. We have no models on what emotional resilience looks like. In fact, when it comes to emotions, most of us are suppressing. We're suppressing them because we don't know how to be with them. We don't know how to feel them. We don't know how to process them. We don't know how to utilize them to pivot to the next level. So we run from them. We run from them by appearing to be perfect, by overworking, by overdoing, by being pleasing. We overeat, we overdrink, we numb, we watch too much television, what have you. Whatever way you do it, most of us do not have a healthy way to look at or process emotion. And at the same time, we also don't have the education and the conscious awareness to know when we're in something. When we're in something and you can be the observer of being in something versus when you think that something's happening to you, now you're the victim and you can't see the forest through the trees because all you do is feel overwhelmed by what's going on for you and you're making it mean things. I want to talk about how hard this last 6 months has been for me. And not in the I'm going to go down a dark doom and gloom place, because I understand what's happening and I've understood it while it was happening. Now, the year of the snake and the fire horse did help to put it in a way that made it feel better, right? Because I saw it as a process. We all understand different scenarios. I'm going to give you a couple different analogies to consider when we talk about this. Number one, the idea of shedding a skin. You know that snakes shed a skin. Well, you can shed a skin too, but we don't think in terms of that. We usually have one story going about who we are and what we're supposed to do and what we know and how we show up. We have one story. And we don't understand the different aspects and facets of what make us up and of the options you have for being different. Because you have your story going about who you are and what happened to you and what you have to do in the world and who you are in the world. And you're so stuck in that story that you don't know how to change it. And that's where I come in with all the different tools that I share with people to give you different interpretations of who you are and different versions of the story that you could be living. When you want to get stronger physically, you know that you have to figure out some kind of exercise regimen, and it might be going to the gym. And if you have a good personal trainer, or if you understand biomechanics and exercise physiology, you understand that in order for your body to build muscle, first you need protein. Most of the time, that's a substrate that's needed to create muscle. But besides protein, you need the environment to stimulate the muscle to failure, which sends a signal to the brain that says, I need to build stronger. Without the stimulus from the outside of, let's say, resistance training, where the muscle goes to failure. In fact, failure is the goal. So think about that. Failure is the goal, where you are trying 100% and you can't do another rep. That is what failure is in controlled form. So let's take that analogy into life. And you're aware that you are an eternal being and that you're here many lifetimes and this isn't your first, it's not your last. And you incarnated and you chose to, and you're here trying to figure it out and trying to figure out how to be happy and how to make money and how to have good relationships and how to be healthy. And along the way, you're going to come up against some contrast. When when that contrast happens, if you've been listening for a while, you understand law of attraction, potentially you have a good relationship with contrast. And up until recently, I even under the most painful contrast of my divorce and leading up to the divorce, I still used law of attraction, and and for some reason I was really good at it then. I guess I used my tools in a way that helped me during that time. I trusted what I knew about what I was going to manifest because of my very strong desires. And then I did the work to get myself into a vibrational state where what I wanted could show itself, where it could actualize. And, that was sort of my claim to fame for myself, if you will, when I attracted Doug. And even just living through the relationship, it was an okay relationship. Neither one of us were happy about it. But I also didn't let it bring me down. And and what it did was provide me motivation. It focused me. It focused me on what I needed to learn, how I needed to grow, and what did I need to do to make the best of this and possibly turn it around? What power and influence did I have to make this better? Well, then you start manifesting the things that you want and you get to another level and you're like, okay, cool. This is a new level. I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I have more than I've ever had. And then you look at, well, what's next? And I'm literally sitting in the what's next. And maybe you are too. And I want to address that, and I want to acknowledge that there's a lot of darkness in the world. And it's been there. We just didn't know it was there. Somebody shined a light on it. And now more people are aware that it's there. And now we're having responses to that. And while collectively there's a sadness and there's a shock and there's trauma, and what it does is it actually shocks and reactivates your own trauma, which is why people respond the way they do to things, because it activates what's inside of us. Even though all of that is going on, there is a calling happening. There's a calling happening right now for a lot of us to awaken within us the power, the divinity, and the love and the light that we have to share. And for those of you that have been listening for a while or watching, a year ago, so 2025, was the first year we did not travel for my birthday. And it was weird. I won't lie. I was feeling off. I thought this didn't feel honoring. Like for me to be gone and away and on vacation and exploring has a freedom to it and a newness and an excitement to it that felt really honoring for my birthday. And last year I wanted to go to Italy during a time that was warmer and potentially drier, although I did not say drier in my manifestation. So it wasn't drier, but it was warmer. So that was April. So here we are, we're here. And I got this idea, I should take myself on a journey. I've had many people come and do medicine journeys and they've had amazing experiences. I'm kind of jealous. It's been a while. Maybe it's time for me to do a journey. So on March 4th, the day before my birthday, I did a journey and it was transformational. It was so cathartic. And if you haven't heard that episode, it's called What Needs to Die in You. And that I published it, I don't know, March or April of 2025. And I still remember the very clear lessons that I got from that journey. So here we are, fast forward a year later, literally a week ago today, I took myself on another birthday journey. And I was all ready for the messages and the downloads and the releasing and the shedding, if you will, of the skins that I need to shed. And the first message that came through to me was about, so where I'm sitting with this body of work that I've created, with this core wound map that I've created, with this book that I've written that I don't have a clear title on yet, with, where, like, what's going on with me? I am someone who used to produce really quickly and content is never a problem. And this has been 8 years since I've written my last book. And usually I write a book every couple of years. So here we are, we're way past that because I've really been deep in developing this process, as well as testing it out on clients and working with people for 3, 6, 9, 12 months at a time in order to see what kind of impact and transformation can happen by using this information. I've been taking my time with it. I have been methodical and conscious and careful and committed to this work. And so in my first part of the journey, what was shown to me from Source was that I am a light worker, which I already knew that, and a lot of you that listen to the show are. And in order for me to hold the light, to hold more light than I already do, first of all, I have to be clean. And that doesn't mean like clean eating, yes, clean living, detoxing, all things that I already do. But there's another level of trust and adaptation that my body, my heart, my mind, my spirit needs to have, needs to expand into in order for me to be able to hold more light. And I had the image of like spreading my wings with light and Source saying, you have to do this. You have to do this. And it doesn't matter that some people are going to hate it and they're not going to like it and they're going to think you're full of shit. It doesn't matter that you're going to question yourself and you're going to be afraid of what people are going to say about you. It doesn't matter because you have to show them. You have to show them what's possible. You have to be it. You have to be it. You have to be the light of it. And those who are ready for it will come forward and they will feel ready because what you have can change lives and they need it. So that felt really good and scary. I was kind of being kicked in the pants by spirit, if you will. And then later in the journey, what was revealed and reminded to me, because I had a family member wish me happy birthday a day early. And that family member represents the part of the family that basically kicked me out. We had a disagreement about something, and I was told that if you don't admit what you did was wrong, we want nothing to do with you. And I said, see ya. So I realized in this journey, well, no wonder. No wonder why I'm trying to get it right because it wasn't safe to be me. It hasn't been safe to be me. When I'm really me, there are people that don't like it and people that are either threatened by it, turned off by it, triggered by it. And so to get even more bright means I invite more negative comments. I invite hatred. I invite, that I'm triggering people who won't like it. And that is a fear. And even though it will probably happen, because again, the more you grow, 10% of the people love you no matter what you do, and 10% will hate you no matter what you do. And if you're brighter and more visible, then you'll have more people that make up that 10% of people that don't like you. So I really got super clear about the fact that I have not been dragging my feet. I'm not dragging my feet. This process has been, very intentional and I haven't rushed it and I've listened to my intuition and I haven't just thrown it out there. I have wanted to be guided and be in alignment with the highest and best expression of me and this work this entire time, which means it's taking longer because there's no coming back from this. Once I start this, once I walk out as an empowerment strategist and I've created the core wound map and I'm in the world in this way, that's it. And from there, more things will flow. But I'm making a leap. I'm making an identity change. I'm claiming to know things that many people are going to say I'm not qualified to teach. And while I've never slowed down from someone else's reaction, even when, in past relationships, I've been told I'm not qualified to say that or whatever has been told to me, it slowed me down. No, it did slow me down. I would have grown a lot faster if I felt that it didn't have the same consequences. Disloyalty and abandonment are the reasons why I have slowed myself down in the past. Now, that is not now. I am with a partner who wants me to grow as fast and as big as I possibly can and will never leave me, at least at this point in time. Now, of course, we can't say that for sure, but it's been ensured that this is it. This is our soul path together. But then there's the rest of you and the rest of the world. And just like going to the gym to go to failure with your resistance training so your muscles can build, the contrast right now is pushing me to failure. The contrast right now is saying you have to let go and release any attachments you have to everything. You have to be willing to die before you can rise in certain ways. And it is super uncomfortable. And it made me think, because as I look out into the world, I see I'm not the only person struggling with this. I'm not the only person who is standing on the precipice of things that are changing. That the world, between war and AI and like whatever, you name the 10 things, and this could be 10 years from now that we're dealing with similar energies. but people are affected by it. And when collectively, energetically, we're affected by it, it affects all of us. And it affects how people listen, how people act, what people buy, if people take chances, if people don't, if they feel safe or unsafe financially, or safe or unsafe emotionally. And so I'm going to say that I've been stuck, but I've been stuck in what I'm going to consider the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. And it made me think about law of attraction, because if we're looking at it from the place of law of attraction, and I'm attracting whatever is coming to me, here's where my growth path and law of attraction gets oversimplified, and why people think, well, I'm doing all the right things. I have a vision board. I'm doing my appreciation list. I'm having good conversations. I'm doing Rampage Appreciation. I'm listening to Abraham. I'm listening to you, JJ. I'm doing my binaural beats. I'm doing all the right things. Why isn't it working? And it's not working because we haven't created the new container, the larger container of newness, of where you haven't been before. We attract where we are, not what we want. So in order to get what we want that's beyond what we've had, we have to stretch into a bigger container. So at the beginning of my journey, as I saw my wings, if you will, and the light coming through me, was you have to go to the next level of container in your body and container in your energetic field. In order to hold that light, in order to share that light, in order to be that light, you have to graduate to another level that you haven't been at yet. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of people. We're being asked to step into and step up into some place we don't know how to be. We haven't been there before, and the tools that we've used in the past are not working the same as they did in the past. So what is this place of being stuck when you're doing the work? Well, even as seasoned as I am in law of attraction and all the things Abraham, I was listening to an Abraham about, and again, this is stuff that I've done before, but for some reason, this is different this time. That the adaptation needed for me, for my next level, comes in focusing on and feeling about and vibrating about and creating an emotional reality and happiness around something that has not manifested yet. It's making peace with the discomfort. So, whatever the scenario is for you, you're getting divorced, you have no money, you got fired, you have to move, your health isn't well, whatever your contrast is, the next level for many of us, not everybody, because not everyone's going to want to try to do it, is to how do I pivot to not be conditional to what's going on in my life? And how do I get excited about anticipating what's coming and have that be enough? How can I be happy even when it's not here? How can I feel fulfilled and energized and hopeful and creative and clear and knowing even when every physical thing is telling a different story around you? From whatever, your spouse, your finances, your health, everything is the opposite of what you want it to be. But you're supposed to find happiness, centeredness, knowing, hopefulness within that lack. That's really what law of attraction is about. Like the muscle that needs to be strengthened is, how do I live in a reality that I can't see? How do I feel about and emote about and talk about and have my cells bathing in a reality that I want, that I know exists, but I can't physically see it, taste it, touch it, or be with it yet? That's the hardest part of manifestation that most people have a difficult time with, because we're so addicted to what is. We're so addicted to seeing something and saying, okay, well, now I can feel better. And I've caught myself doing it. When this happens or when that happens, like, oh, then I'll feel relief. It's been harder to stretch into relief in negative situations, but I keep attracting negative situations to teach this to me. Because until I learn this, until I have the strength and the capacity to hold the light within the darkness, it's not going to come into fruition. I cannot call it in if I cannot resonate with it. You cannot call it in unless you resonate with it. If you are bitching about politics or the war or whatever's going on in the world, if your focus is on responding from a place of being reactive to your environment, to your spouse, to your whatever, to all the details that make up your current context. If you're in reactive mode, then you're not in a frequency that's higher than where you are, and you can't manifest the things that are new and different and better than where you are. So when you're feeling stuck because you're doing all the right things, maybe the tools need to be updated. Maybe the container needs to be updated. In this year's Date Your Body, we're doing some different things that and testing in different ways and using different metrics than I've used before. Because last year and the year before, it was more like a little bit of both, a little bit of some of the exercise and the food stuff, but it was, obviously the emotional piece because Date Your Body is really about your relationship with your body. But now moving into, we can do both. We can be testing and using numbers and data and change the relationship with ourselves. So when you're thinking about yourself right now and you are feeling stuck and you tell yourself, but I'm doing all the right things. Is there a part of your intuition that's guiding you that you're not listening to? For me, I have been hearing, stay where you are. It's coming. It's coming. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Don't make any dramatic moves. Stay where you are. I've also been pulling a card. So when I was in Arizona speaking last year in Sedona, there was a card deck that I've been looking at. It's here locally. I see it in different shops, spiritual shops. I've never purchased the card deck, but when I got to Arizona, there were like 20 of them, and it's the only deck they had. And I literally felt like it was screaming at me, like, it's time to buy me. Like, I have a message for you. I have a message for you. So I bought the card deck. And that was at a time where I had 3 presentations, and one of them I didn't even know what I was going to talk about. And so my roommate, God bless her, thanks, Jennifer. She was a great sounding board for me to sort of work through stuff. And I asked them to sort of schedule my talks in a way that I could be clear by the time I got to the 3rd talk. And after it was over, I pulled a card. And the card that I pulled talked about letting go of how things were in order to allow in the way things are going. Don't be attached to what you've done in the past. It's going to look different. Be flexible to allow it to change. And it was the Aurora of Gamma was the card that I pulled. And my roommate, she had left to drive home, and I sent her a voice text to read the card to her because I asked her if she was interested, and she said, yeah, I'd love to hear it. And of course, she thought it was a perfect card for me, and I thought it was a perfect card for me. And since then, I've only pulled one other card out of that deck. I literally have not wanted to touch that deck for whatever reason. I look at it and go, nope. And I haven't shared that deck with anybody that's been here either. It's just been my personal deck. Well, we get to my journey last week, literally a week ago today. And I thought, you know what? The deck said it's time. It's time to pull a card again. So I'm shuffling the deck. I'm clearing the deck. And then after I shuffle, my intuition says, shuffle again. I said, okay. So I shuffled again. I pulled the card. It's the same card, Aurora of Gamma. So I laughed. I read the card to my Rewire group as they knew I was going into the journey. And I just reflected on the messages of to be flexible, to let go of the attachments to what it has looked like before so that you can allow in what it's going to look like in the future, which might be completely different. And then I went into this amazing journey that I had. And I'm still not done really unpacking it. I haven't really talked about it that much. But this idea that our bodies need to be attended to because it's the container, and it's the physical body, it's the heart, it's the mind, it's the brain, and then the energetic container. The other thing that came through really clearly to me that I want to share with all of you that I said to the Rewire group is that you are already part of divine. You are part of divinity. It flows through you. There is no, and I'm sorry if some of you are very religious and maybe you have different opinions, but here is my complete knowingness, and I honor your different of opinion if you have one, but there is no God outside of you. God is you. I'm not saying that there isn't a higher being of love and light. I'm saying that we're all, just like the sun, extensions of source energy. We are extensions of source energy. We are divine. We are divinity. And the message for some of my Rewire clients was, you are part of divine. So act like it and treat yourself like it. Make choices based on knowing that you are part of the divine, that you are here in an expression to be light on the earth. And that is honorable. That is something to cherish, something to protect, and something to take care of. And from our self-talk to our self-care, when we get down on ourselves or when we get too when we get real disconnected from that larger perspective, we get lost and we become out of alignment. So I hope some of this will be interesting and maybe helpful for you today. I do believe that all of you are also light workers. If you're listening to the show, especially those of you that have been listening for a while, you have a desire to make a difference in the world. And it doesn't have to be through having your own business or your own podcast. It can just be by being an example. When you are the example of love and light and strength and resilience and dedication and purpose and passion, you will attract the things that are right for you, and you will affect those around you. You will inspire them without words. You will inspire them without shaming them or getting mad at them or yelling at them. You will ask their inner beings to step up. And then you can be a safe place when you've proven that you've done it. It goes back to the episode with Mandy last year, and it only takes one person. It only takes one person. And I'm pretty clear that I know what my goals are right now and what my job is. Right now, I'm in the process of trying to figure out where to put the book and if the book is going to be this year. Am I coming from scarcity to want to get it out this year? Is it possible? Who's the right partner to work with? I have 2 different offers from publishers and I don't know which one to take right now or if I need to take either one of them. So as I continue through my own growth process of expanding my container, of trusting my intuition and releasing my attachment to the negative stimulus in front of me from time to time, if not more than I want to, and to find the peace, to find the happiness and the love and the joy and the alignment and the trust in the knowing that what you see in front of you is fleeting. What is only right now. What you're creating in your next minute counts more than what has already shown up for you. We are all in the process of manifesting something else coming that you can't see. But if we stay stuck in what is, we stay stuck in the place of thinking it doesn't work. So my call to action for you, why you feel stuck even when you're doing all the right things, is to join me for the next manifestation challenge starting April 1st. I think my focus for many of us will be those of us that have done it for a while. And maybe you're new and you can start at the beginning and do all the things that I'm talking about that you've never done before. But if you've been doing these tools, I am going to be on a journey of learning how to be happy, be knowing, be in a state of knowing, be calm, be hopeful, even when shit around me is not working. And even when I'm manifesting not good stuff, how can I revel in getting excited about and feeling the feelings even before it comes? Because I think that is the hardest step of law of attraction that most people do not understand and do not do well. Because in order to live at a frequency you can't see, there is a lot of trust that has to be involved in that. There's a lot of trust. There's a lot of self-talk. There's a lot of, I'm not going to say discipline because it doesn't have to be white knuckled, but you have to grow. You have to grow into a new level of consciousness and connection to your higher self, connection to source or God, connection to any ancestors or angels or guides that are with you. You have to grow past what you can see in order to get to the next level of where you're going. So I hope today has been helpful for you, and I hope to see you on the next 14-day manifestation challenge. jjflizanes.com/14-day. We start April 1st, 2026.